Object number 3. Front view. Top view. Right side view. Object number 3, see-through. Front view. Top view. Right side view. Note on object number 3, there is a groove that runs all the way along the length of the bottom of the object. Object number 3.
Hello, Mr. Kempton again here. I'm going to take about 5 minutes and give you a quick demonstration on how to do orthographic projection of object number 3. Now, object number 3 looks like a wedge, like a doorstop. So again, we're going to start the way we normally do, and we're going to start with the front view and us drawing the widest dimension. So that is our wedge from side to side. That's how tall it is. And this is going to be the angle part from the back to the front, or left to right, I guess. Now, looking at that wedge closely, when you see it from different views, you notice that there is a groove that's cut all the way along the center of the bottom part. Now again, that is part of the wedge that we cannot see in this view. So we're going to represent that cut that goes all the way across with a dotted line. And dotted lines represent things that we cannot see but we know are there. Alright, so on this view now we have some information that we can transfer from the bottom, or front view, sorry, to the top view. So I'm going to start with my projection lines, and as always, they're nice and light. Try and keep them perpendicular to the bottom of my page, straight up and down. I also need to bring this point right here, because when I'm looking at the top of this wedge, this is where this groove becomes visible. And it looks like a little triangle peeking out at us. So I'm going to draw another projection line right there. So now, time for my top view. And again, the depth of this object is about the same as the height. It's pretty close. So I'm going to draw my front and back of the object about that far apart. I'm going to use a solid line to represent the left edge. And even though the right side is a lot thinner, it's still there from front to back. So I'm going to draw a line there too. Now, this line coming up here, as I said previously, is where this groove that runs all the way through breaks through, and we can see it from the top view. So I'm going to place a dot right in the center, and I'm going to draw a line going from there to there, and a line. This distance here should be about the same as this distance down here, so I'm going to just eyeball that and take a guess and do that. So there now we have what is, for the most part, an almost fully completed top view. Now I know that that piece of wood is not actually there, so I'm going to erase it, and I am going to draw more hidden lines across here. Because we know that this feature runs all the way through, just because we're looking at it from a different view does not mean that it goes away. So I need to put dotted lines down there. And I'm going to do a dotted line here also, because this groove is almost cut like a triangle. There's two edges, edge, edge, and there's a peak. So I'm going to fill that in. There we go. So this is the top view. We see left to right, front to back, and we have our groove cut all the way through there. So now it's time for our 45-degree line. And notice when I'm drawing these objects, I'm always doing them in the same sequence. I start with the front view, I draw projection lines, I do my top view, I do my 45, I run projection lines, I drop the projection lines, and then I complete my right side view. So, projection line time, nice and light, and a projection line from every feature. So that means there's going to be 5 of them running across here. Now the challenge here is to keep them going nice and parallel because they tend to go up and down and left and right. And then I'm going to draw some projection lines here. So from the height of my object, and from the base of my object, and from the height of that groove, because that information has to come over here also. All right, so projection lines are all done. We find our intersection points between our projection lines and our 45 degree, and we drop those straight down. And again, this here is also a little bit of a challenge to keep these running perfectly straight. And again, these are projection lines also, so do not do these really dark. And there is my back edge. Okay, so now we have everything we need here to complete our object. So as we're looking at the right side view, we're looking at the object from here, and it is that tall. And I've got my full height here, so I'll do that on both sides. There's my full height. My object is flat across the top. There we go. And this groove is centered. So this is the center of the groove. So I come over and I come down. So the center of the groove is right here, but it tells me it's this high. So this point right here is the top middle peak of my groove. So I'm going to draw a line from there, and a line from there, and then I'll use my ruler just to finish off there and there. So there's no hidden features on this view because I can see that groove cut all the way through. Notice the groove is the same height here. Notice my groove becomes visible right here, and notice that these 3 points all come over, hit my 45, drop down, and they are these 3 points right here. So all of these features that you have on your shapes need to match up with the corresponding feature on the other views of the same shape. All right, so the last thing I need to do now is add my title. Orthographic projection number 3. And again, that one's done by Mr. Kempton. And today is still May 27th, 2020. And voila, there is orthographic projection number 3. All right, good luck with that.